Welcome back to another week and another forecast. Before we dive into the charts, I thought let us go through the fundamentals, because last week was a bit of a, you could say it was a bit of a boring week. Even though it was CPI week, nothing much actually happened. So we're bringing this across. Most of the week, everyone was waiting for CPI in the US. When it did come in, we saw that CPI came in line just with most expectations, where it dropped below the 2.5%. So it still followed a downwards trend, but however, it came above the forecasted 2.3%. So basically, essentially, inflation in the US is still dropping. So the downtrend is still there, and rate cuts will likely still continue. However, the pace at which inflation is dropping isn't as quickly as most would want to see. And obviously, with the previous week's strong labor market, where we had NFP come in strong and the unemployment rate also drop, there's now a sense where, yes, rate cuts are coming. However, it might not be as quick as most would have initially hoped for. So I don't think the Fed are going to be in much of a rush to cut their rates just yet. And with that being said, it's given dollar its strength that we have obviously witnessed in the past couple of weeks. Then looking ahead to this week, Monday is a bank holiday, so likely a low volume day. And then we've got some news spread across GBP, Euro, and USD throughout the week, with claimant count for the GBP employment data, UK CPI, which is looking to drop, EU, USD, etc. Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty in terms of where the dollar could be going. We are still in a bullish trend, and where Euro and Pound right now are a bit ambiguous, but let's dive in and see what we could actually potentially see. So obviously, starting with DXY, we're still holding this bullish trend here shown on the daily, the weekly as well. Very strong weekly closures. As price has been rallying for quite some time now, a short-term pullback is likely to be anticipated, but of course, nothing is saying that we can't just simply continue on higher, take out these local highs there, and then do some sort of a pullback into here. So right now, nothing is really like giving an indication of a slowdown in the current trend. So markets aren't really giving much opportunities for myself personally. So I'm just really waiting for some more structure. This sort of price action isn't really clean. It's not really like giving clear signs or clear indications. For example, look at this daily candle. Barely a candle body, just pure wick, even here as well. So nothing is really smooth, nice, easy trades. It's just a bit of a patience thing. So for now, dollar, again, bullish bias, likely of a pullback before we continue higher, but again, nothing nothing can stop it continuing to rally higher before pulling back as well. So for now, nothing is too clear, and that can also be seen in EU, where obviously it's a clear bearish trend, but there isn't much great structure. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's not really giving much. I'm not gonna lie, to me, innit? So for now, I'm just watching EU. It's just there. It's a bit boring. Again, look at these candle closes. The daily candles, you want clean, full, efficient closes. This is just a bit mid. So for now, I'm not really touching EU. The dollar bias is clear, but opportunities aren't really presenting themselves like that. And if we also then look at GJ is a bit clearer. So we're seeing a clear uptrend over here. I've got an area of interest over here. So if I remove this quickly, we came and swept these lows over here on the 4-hour, then aggressive push higher, and we've left this little zone over here. So what I'm looking for is a ideal run lower to test here again before continuing the big push towards the 200 level. Looking at GJ, we are likely to run towards these highs over here at the 200. And right now, as JPY is still in a short-term bullish trend, there's no reason as to why pound can't push higher. As I mentioned before, we do have that UK CPI coming out on Wednesday, and for now the forecast is 1.9%, which is a drop from the current 2.2. So if we do drop in CPI, that will likely potentially be a catalyst to bring price lower before then continuing the high time frame trend. So that's the general plan on GJ. Again, we have to be very careful with being too premature in taking trades, especially on GJ, because it can whipsaw and play around sometimes. You want to focus on the most clean reactions, and this wick over here, to me, is quite tasty. Most would now be looking to buy and put their stops here or here, so a little one down lower, take everyone out, and then continue higher again. That to me is the ideal scenario. We've got something similar on UJ, where we've got a clear bullish trend, a few lows over here, and we saw a area of aggression from here as well. I'm leaning more towards GJ than UJ, simply because price may not pull all the way back into this area of interest here. So I'd rather focus on GJ, especially because dollar is bullish right now. There's more of a chance for pound to drop than dollar to drop, so that's why I'll go focus on GJ. And then if I also bring in JPYX over here, short-term bearish trend is still here, which is why obviously I'm bullish on GJ and UJ. However, these equal highs over here looking very interesting. So what I would like to see essentially for the new week is either a run up into these equal highs to continue lower, or take this daily for an extended push to then run back lower. Ideally, this push extended higher is what I would prefer, so my GJ long bias could actually play out. But for now, we'll just have to see how it does move. But yeah, that's the general plan with JPY. I do think we could likely run back lower into this area here. So for now, that is what the plan is. And then if we also then look at gold has finally started to make some sort of a movement. On the 12-hour, we've got a inverted fair value gap right here. So now this is a clear, again, confirmation of the bullish trend after we took these lows from last week's fundamental news. Clear aggressive move. I would want to see from gold a push lower into this area here before continuing the trend higher. It will depend on how price reacts from this region here. Personally, of course, yes, we're bullish. Daily is bullish. We're clearly in a bullish trend. But to just take a entry just on impulse, I would rather wait for some sort of low time frame confirmation in here. So for example, let's say that we ran lower, took some lows here, broke structure, came back, and then continued, and the breaking structure would be something along lines like these. So come lower, make a swing high, break it, come back, run higher again. That sort of scenario is what I would prefer to long, rather than just longing aimlessly into here. I'd rather wait for some low time frame structure, which then also gives a better risk reward. So that's the ideal plan for gold. Yeah, that's all that we're looking at. If we also then bring in crypto, Bitcoin has created a daily IFVG here. So likelihood is that price runs lower to then continue higher again. I still do think that we can potentially run lower on crypto just to take out some more lows, but there does seem to be a good chance for a potential short-term rally higher. So again, little one lower into here, then one back to 64.5k. That's a good region. And also with USDT.D, we've gotten a recent short-term break in structure on the 4-hour over here. We've taken out these highs, aggressive push lower, broken past the swing low as well. A little short-term break in structure, so we can easily see price run back up into here before running lower into here again, which is in correlation to BTC. But then, even though we do have that, the daily to me is still in a bullish trend. So we saw an initial reaction from here, push lower again to then continue on it higher. That's the general idea behind this. And I am still bearish on ETH. I do think that ETH is still in a bearish daily trend, so I am still looking for ETH to run a bit higher to continue lower and take out these lows here, because these lows are too enticing to just ignore. And if we really want to see aggressive moves back up to the all-time highs, we do need some more high time frame lows to be taken to actually pick up all of that liquidity to give it the juice to actually make that one higher. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for this week. Nothing crazy. Last week was a bit dead, to be honest. Even with CPI, nothing much was really going on like that. So hopefully this week things pick up a bit more. Again, it's just all about being patient. Let's see how the market behaves. Don't rush into any trades and just focus on managing your risk. All right, cool. Let's all have a good trading week.